Tottenham is just a story of exactly what Crespo talked about. Hello, good evening. This is Taiwo Najobi once again on Lanonasis Maple Sports. We just like to bring on filtered opinion, sharp analysis, and some big love for Canadian hoops and ice. We're always excited to break down the NBA, Premier League, some part of the Champions League, and to cover some small space for smart hockey talk. Today is run by Taiwo, your commentator, analyst, and unapologetic fan of the game. This is 8:37 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Today is a good day. Try something new, have fun, be brave, and make a difference. Thank you very much. I'm really excited. We have more people on ground. A lot of people going to give us, a lot more than what we normally give across the world of sports. But today we'll be focusing a bit more on football and some of the drama around Champions League. I'll get, everybody to just give us some 2 cents around. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what keeps you excited, then we can just get it on. I'll start from Emmanuel, Crespo, then Joshua, then we just, get it on. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Taiwo. Happy to be here again, man. I mean, our love for the game is a big one. It keeps us going. At least every weekend, keeps us glued to our screens over the weekend, watching our lovely sport. So I'm really happy to be here, talk about our favorite game, and it's going to be a good discussion today. I'm happy to have Crespo too for the first time. So looking forward to.
Yeah, that's Dr. Crespo, yeah.
Dr. Crespo.
Dr. Crespo.
Sorry, Sanovek, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So, Crespo, tell us a bit about yourself then.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, my name is Crespo, and from the name Crespo, it will give an idea of what I represent. So,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. So it's good to be here.
Yeah.
Good to be here. Good to see lovely guys discuss the sport we love a lot.
Yeah,
Soccer, football.
definitely.
Yeah, and let's dive in, discuss things, and speak about those interesting moments. Like I can't wait to speak about Jose Mourinho. How does this guy just come back from the death and is back to life again? Yeah.
I'll tell you.
So it'll be fun to chat with you guys about so many things happening in the world of sports.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Joshua.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm so happy to be back. And yeah, again, it's good to have everyone. Emmanuel left me alone last week, so
I couldn't.
Yeah, so but good to also have Crespo here. This is the real Crespo, not the one that we know. This is the real Crespo. And then yeah, I'm excited to be here to talk about sports. So yeah, let's get right in.
Okay, that's a good one. Thank you for giving us your 2 cents, and Crespo give us 3 cents. I think we'll just start from Liverpool. I'll talk a little bit about the resilience part. I won't spend so much time so that everybody gets a little bit of time to just dive right into it. But I feel that Bournemouth executed perfectly. They had the opportunity to really, work themselves out with the 4-2-3-1 vertical transitions. And for me, looking at it, focusing a bit more on just risk and impact, Liverpool had slightly more defensive errors, and the impact was quite high. Bournemouth was more clinical in their finishing. On the energy and intensity side, there's a big drop on the Liverpool side. I think I kind of expected a bit more from them. And that was even before they went ahead to do the 6-0 Champions League performance. So it looks like some of these things had already been improved before their Champions League tie. Bournemouth continued to use that wide channel exploitation for them. And that was, it was spot on. And that was why the match just went the way it is. So I'll just give Crespo the opportunity to dive right into it. Emmanuel will follow through then, Joshua.
Yeah. Like you said, it's just interesting to see how Liverpool keeps capitulating at the back. Like you said, at this level of football, like you should, as much as possible, little errors at the back can cost you anything. And we saw again, kudos to Bournemouth after losing Semenyo. You would think that the attack will be blunt, but I think they've got a system that is working for them, and you can still see they are giving even the best of the best teams a run for their money. So yeah, I would say kudos to Bournemouth more than anything. Liverpool did their best, but kudos to Bournemouth after losing Semenyo, still coming back to to get that late minute goal. But again, at this level of football, you don't make errors at the back with Van Dijk and the likes at the back. You don't make errors, So, but let's see how Liverpool can bounce back because they just opened the race for the 4th spot again. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Emmanuel.
Yeah, I mean Liverpool. We've talked about them a lot this season, right? And not always for the right reasons, right? So it's quite an interesting one. I mean, but they still sit on the table despite their poor results so far. So I think just like Crespo said, they struggled at the back, the defense. Van Dijk and I think it was Joe Gomez that paired with him in the last game inside the game. So it's quite shocking to see how they keep leaking goals. I mean, it's expect that if you go away to Bournemouth and score 2 goals, you should be able to win the game, right? But I mean, the Premier League is just a very wonderful league. You score 2 goals away from home to a team like Bournemouth, who is 13th on the table, and then you still get to concede 3 goals. So, Liverpool, I think they're struggling with that defense because I always keep on saying they didn't need to buy Isak. They need to buy both of them especially after getting Ekitike. You have Ekitike, you have Chiesa, who is not a bad striker on a very good day, right? You have Kodigaku, you have Salah. You have other guys that can come in and support the game and then, make sure you get this good result. But then going to buy Isaac, now Isaac is away again. I don't know how long he's going to be away for. So now they're back with having Van Dijk and making just someone says schoolboy defending, like clear the balls, be there, pay attention to little things like that. And I think Van Dijk is right to say the guy is getting close to the end of his career. I mean, that's a hard one to say, but that's what it's looking like because Liverpool's issues have been defensive issues lately, right? They hardly have the game where they score goals. Liverpool have issues scoring goals. They always score, but the issue is they always concede, funny goals that they shouldn't be conceding, So that's the thing. And again, not taking away anything from Bournemouth because, like you said, Crespo, to lose a player like Semenyo with quality and still do what they're doing in the league, and right now they're 10th on the table, and different between them and those who are the people on the team on 7th place is just about 4 points.
4 points.
Yeah.
7th. Bournemouth is 13th. Fulham has 34 points. Bournemouth has 30 points. So it's just 4 points. Bournemouth loses tomorrow, and if Fulham loses tomorrow to Manchester United, and Bournemouth wins, they'll be 1 point behind them, right? So it shows you how well they're doing. And the league is the league table doesn't lie. It shows you that Bournemouth has a chance to get to that top half, which is where they always want to be, right? Top half of the table. So that's it. I'm credit to Bournemouth again for, despite losing some key, to still be able to, hold Liverpool and still win the game against a team like Liverpool. No matter how poor they've been lately, they're still the defending champions, right? And they are champions for a reason. And most of the players who were there last season also there this season. They lost 1 or 2 players here and there, but overall it's the same team that was there last season. So winning them is a very big feat as well, right? Because some teams, Arsenal couldn't beat them at home, right? And other teams too could not beat them at home. So they're still
City also.
City also. So Bournemouth winning them at their home is a big one for them. So kudos to Bournemouth.
Yeah, so before Joshua jumps on it, I just wanted, to create some kind of twist. If you look at their performance against Qarabag, is it about Qarabag being a weak team or about Liverpool showing us some parts that they are hidden away from everybody in such a long time?
I think it's a mixture of both, right? Liverpool is still a good team. I mean, they have good players, Salah, Ekitike, Kodigapo. These are guys who can hurt you anytime, any day, right? So they're still a good team. It's just defensive issue. And again, so when I say mixture of both, Qarabag is not. I don't compare them to the likes of the team in the Premier League, right? So that's why I say it's a mixture of both. So on a very good Liverpool, if they hit it very well, they can score any team 4 to 5 goals because they have the quality to do that, right? For Envert there as well, which is creativity. Even though he's not been putting the numbers he did last season at Bayer Leverkusen, right? So, but he's still a very good player. So they had players to hurt you. So I would say it's a mixture of them, both Liverpool being good attacking wise and then Qarabag being a bit poor, on the other side of the pitch.
Yeah, again, sorry, not to just to add to what Ima said. I think also we will see a pattern from the English teams in the Champions League. They seem to have superior strength against the Champions League teams, but when they come back to the English game, the strength or the physicality of the English game takes a toll on these guys. So you see Arsenal. Arsenal is unable to score from open play like in the last 3, 4, 5 games. They've had to use set pieces, You look at City also. I think they lost their last Champions League game before they won this one. Like you can see the way they struggle in the league, and that speaks about the physicality of the Premier League. So yes, Liverpool, yeah, but again, you have to do something about that defense, or else you keep licking goals.
Yeah. And just to touch on what Crespo said and that's what I was also going to say, is that's the trend I've seen, is the Premier League is just so different from Europe. Case in point is Tottenham. Tottenham finished
struggling in the league,
in
yeah.
the Champions League. Automatic qualification against people like Inter Milan, Real Madrid. You get. But then in the Premier League, they are 14 or 17, or they are 14, really, 28 points. Yeah. So it just shows you, again, we've seen it in last season Europa League. The two, what we call Battle of the Bastards in the final. Real Madrid, Tottenham, and they both finished 15, 17. So it just shows you that the Premier League is just a different beast, a different level. Not necessarily because we have good teams, but just it's so physical, it's so intensive, and it's always difficult doing that Europe League, especially if you don't have a big squad depth like that. So but again, I remember we were talking about Liverpool last week, and then I was like saying Bournemouth should be able to get a draw, or do well to get a draw, because Bournemouth has this kind of team where they're always going to be there, right? They've lost the most points from winning positions this season, so the issue has always been for them keeping clean sheets or keeping goals out. Remember the Man United game 4-4, right? So they have that in them. They can score a lot of goals, but it's like keeping, and the game was just, I mean, even before the goal, they had a very good chance to score. And I was watching Monday Night Football, and Qarabag was saying of how Liverpool are just so unbalanced. The level of physicality in that team is so low. And this guy, 2 players ran from their own box till they gave Evan Nielsen in his other box, and no one challenged him. And I was like, they're just so, I really don't know. Like, the physicality in their team is not there. They don't win second balls, those 50-50s, and you have to grind it in Premier League right now. Like, see what you're doing against Sunderland, Wolves. Like, you have to grind every win, regardless of who you are. Or like, that's what makes it so difficult. And Liverpool, for the life of me, I don't know why they didn't get a defender in January. Maguire was available. Why did they allow? They didn't even put a bid for him. Man City had defenders, but they were all injured, and immediately they went to get Maguire. He was not supposed to go to Man City, but I don't know why Liverpool were waiting for the summer to get him on a free. I'm like, it's just 20 million. Like, why can't you go? Because right now Konate is out, I think, for family reasons. His dad died, so only Van Dijk is the senior centre back they have. They had to play Gravenberch there in Champions League. We played Gomez there in the league, and he had to. He's never fit, right? So he got injured again. He had to go out. Endo, midfielder, had to come in. So I'm like, I don't understand, like, why they didn't get a centre back. And you could see that they are struggling. And the balance of the team is not just right. This is the classic case of buying problem with money, because that's really what they did. That team was good. They won the league. They didn't need to. They didn't need to rejig the team as much as they did. Sell Diaz. We know that God rest his soul, Jota died, so they didn't plan for that. But like that was unfortunate. But they didn't need to sell Diaz, and buy all of these players that they did, right?
Luis Diaz, actually, key guy.
Because Diaz was giving them. He works hard a lot for the team, and there's no one who is replicating that for them. And even Nunes that they sold to Saudi Arabia, Darwin Nunes that were complaining, of course, he was not scoring goals as much as they wanted, but the work he did for the team behind the scenes was so critical. He was pressing a lot. But right now, Liverpool don't press. They don't work hard. They don't do anything. But Nunes and Diaz were the one doing all of the work, and Salah was just like lounging. Salah could lounge because those two were covering. Or like now, Liverpool don't press. Like, people just build out from the back easily to them. So, again, but... anyway, it was a good thing for Bournemouth because they've been struggling a bit. I was really happy. I'm always happy for the coach. I just like him so much, and because he doesn't complain, you never see him rant in social press conference. All of their players are always sold. Last summer they sold all of their back four. This January he sold Semenyo, and he never complains. He just gets on with the work and he still delivers. So I just really like the guy so much. Iraola, like, whenever the next top job comes, I think he should be front runner for that role.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all good. I mean, I agree. The Liverpool man. I just feel like you said, I'm surprised he didn't go for McGay this January.
Yeah,
Given how they pursued him in the summer,
it's okay.
I shocked to hear that he went to Man City. When at Man City, but I mean, I know they need defenders, right, because all their back three are all injured, right?
Yeah.
So they need to get someone in. But so for Liverpool to be there, I think they went to get McGay. I mean, that was shocking. And again, to your point, Joshua, about the Premier League and Champions League. I think Premier League, most of the small teams is just play defensive football.
Yeah. Low
That's what
blocks.
they do. But they just sit back and just wait for you to come and attack them, and they get chance and they hit on the break. That's what they do. When the Champions League is more open.
Yeah.
People want to score, they want to win games. Well, in the Premier League, it's just the other way. That's why it's difficult. That's one reason why it's difficult to play to win the Premier League. That's why you see teams like Tottenham, number 4 in the Champions League, and you know, fucking.
Tottenham is just a story of exactly what Crespo talked about. They look so good in Europe that they are just struggling. I think the pace is what's affecting them. It takes a lot from them.
Yeah.
And looking at 20 million that Joshua said, 20 million is a lot of money for a Liverpool that has overspent. They were number 1 in spending last year alone in a market where they did. They were doing a lot of billions within the whole of Europe.
But they went to pay that amount last summer. They went to pay 20 million for him last summer, right? So So if you pay last summer, why can't you just pay 5 million less this summer? I mean, sorry, in January.
No, they were waiting. I think they were waiting for.
It's just maybe they didn't foresee and to think that Gomez was meant to go on loan at the end of the summer, but he couldn't go because they didn't complete the deal. But they just left it too late till the end of the deadline day to get McGay, and they just kept chasing Isak. Like Isak is like, you've won the league. It's not like you need someone else to come. It's not like you need someone to take over the line.
I think they were not sure of what they would get from Ekitike.
Yeah.
So
to be honest, I didn't know the guy was good.
Exactly. No, I knew he was good because he was formerly from PSG. Then he went to Frankfurt. He didn't get a chance in PSG. He got a chance in Frankfurt. But again, the question of, you don't want to bring somebody from another European league to the English league and they flop. So it was more like looking at other strikers that had come to the EPL. It made sense to go with somebody who's got the EPL experience. So Isak was it. But again, that's what they say about athletes at this level. Once you don't start preseason, the chances that you're going to have a good season, is because we are talking of high level athletes here. So if you don't pick when everybody is picking up, you're going to be behind all through. So, and that's what we're seeing. He's injured again because they rushed him. They wanted him to be, and he got injured. Now they have to wait.
And he didn't have preseason because he was outside Newcastle. So he couldn't train with them. He was just at home training alone. And like I've told Papi, they should just write off this season for Isak. Like, this season is
I think it's
and they should wait next
almost
season.
February.
They should you can't
just let him get back and ease him into the team.
It's next season.
Take that loss. Just take that loss. Yeah. And that's why I thought they should have taken the loss and just gone for Gay.
Yeah, exactly.
Just take that loss. Take up on that extra, because right now I don't know who you want to get at that level that will come to Liverpool ASAP right now. That is top
to the summer.
Yeah,
to the summer.
They should to the summer,
and they need to make top 4. If they don't make top 4, which is really tight,
no Champions League.
His job might be on the line because they need Champions League.
You want to make Champions League for anything. You want to make Champions League.
Yeah,
honestly, man.
But they're lucky they have a top 5, so there's a lot to fight for. With
Man U back in the mix.
I
know your team is back in the mix, man.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say.
Let's see.
Okay, now Dogu is injured again, so I'm also thinking Dogu is going to be out for about 10 weeks.
I have to see how that's a lot against Fulham. That's one that will be processed.
Yeah.
Leave all this big team. Now you are very good in transition football. I want to see against Fulham because Fulham are difficult too.
Yeah. I mean, when they play a team that sits back and wait for them to attack, it's good to see what they can do. Arsenal, Man City, just do that team that want to attack you, right? So they can keep on the break and and use their speed to finish you. But let's see what they'll do against Fulham and the smaller teams. It's interesting to see because to be fair to Kairat, he's done really well. I mean, I know we'll get to Manchester United at some point, right? So
yeah. So I think we should just dive right into it. I know everybody has talked about it all week about how Man U is going through their honeymoon with Kairat. and now they were able to squeeze out 2 wins under the new coach. Against Arsenal, to me, was they were able to grind out that result. Kuna was a good addition at the time that he joined. But most of the key factors, looking at the resilience aspect of it, United's transition efficiency was impactful, and that was a very good one. I saw Arsenal's, they're a bit distracted in their defensive restructure, falling back in transition. And that kind of affected them because they conceded 3 goals, especially at an high-impact game in their own home. United's compact mid-block was also, effective. And, they were able to just go in and get the best out of it. Arsenal lacked that central penetration. And, it also affected the way they decided to form, especially when Man U was coming in transition. So that clinical finish came in and it became impactful for Man U in the long run generally. Joshua, you can jump on it and Crespo will just give us some 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I mean, where do I start from? Iman, I hope you're okay though. Hope you've recovered.
I'm okay. It's just a small blip.
I was.
Right.
I know we talked about it last week. I was like, yeah, Arsenal at home. I mean, they should do enough to win. And it was a really good game. It was a really good game. Especially for neutrals to like watch. End to end, the goals were also like wonderful. The Man United goals, Dogu, the Konya goal were, really top notch. And I think for me, it's more about not really about Arsenal, but about their attacking play, which is something I've noticed in the last few games. And I know someone mentioned it of how like they've not scored. There was period games where they didn't score in Premier League, but they were scoring in Champions League.
Yep.
And it just shows that the attacking numbers are kind of blunt currently. You look at who got the goal. Also, I think it was
Merino,
or Merino.
Merino,
and you just
and
see
the own
like
goal from
the number of goals we've had from Saka, from Jesus or Gyökeres, Martinelli or Trossard, in the Premier League has really been low. I was saying of stats where they were like maybe Saka has not scored in like 11 Premier League. Just basically the front 3.
13.
And that come from set piece, Merino, Gabriel or the midfielder. So I think that's maybe the challenge or the concern for me for Arsenal. Is that the attackers have really not gotten a lot of goals, and maybe with Havertz coming back now, that might be a new change you will get. But they seem to be scoring in the Champions League, but they are not like replicating in the Premier League. That's the challenge, and it was really a good game, especially from Man United's point of view in terms of that transition. And let's not forget that Arsenal got the first goal, and for some reason they just maybe not, of course, not intentionally, but like just took their foot off the gas a bit and more like allowed Manchester United into the game, which is not something you usually associate with Arsenal, especially playing at home. To concede 3 goals at home was something I didn't see coming. I mean, I remember telling this Shogun that after church end game, I was like, oh, 3 goals at Emirates, like I put my house on it that will never happen, right?
Which house is it?
That was your house. I was your basement
house.
That is outskirts.
So,
that is
but yeah,
outskirts.
it was just a good game, good win for Manchester United. And like you said, is it just the new manager bounce from Carrick? Is it honeymoon period? Is it just they know how to play the big teams? But we'll see how they progress. But I mean, these are certainly brought back the good feel for Manchester United. Place was buzzing. You can see even Gary Neville, all of them like really excited. We're talking about, okay, this is how Manchester United play. Like this is the vibe you get with Manchester United, and team all of a sudden now looks more balanced than Amorim, just going to the 4-2-3-1, and then having Casemiro and Kobe Mino, who for some reason Amorim refused to use anymore. But he's been also solid, and more importantly for me is that Bruno Fernandes is now playing further up, which is all I've been clamoring for. He can play deep, but he's not as effective playing deep, and you expose him and the team when he plays deep, especially when Manchester United are chasing the game. But in just that free roll, you could see how he linked up with Dogu for that, was about the second goal. And then he just smashed it. So he's freed him a lot, and you can see how the influence is having on Manchester United and how like they are scoring and attacking. So it was a good game. But for Arsenal, I wouldn't panic too much. They're still 4 points ahead. Their destiny is still in their hands. They just need to start firing in terms of the attackers, to start putting the ball in the back of the net. I still think Arsenal would win the league. Not because they would run away with the league or because they are the best, but because I don't think the chasers, Aston Villa, Man City, or whoever else is chasing them, would be able to put up a good run to overtake them.
Exactly. Dr. Crespo.
Yeah, like 2 cents. I'm a Man U fan, so
Okay.
first off, I can wax lyrical from now till the end of the day for that good win. But like Joshua mentioned, actually for me, Man U's from I feel this season had just been the coach that left Amorim. Not because Amorim couldn't do a good job, but because you use your best players in their worst positions.
Yeah.
And for me, there is no way you're going to get the maximum of these guys.
Yep.
Fernandez playing deep was the best assist player. What is it doing that deep? Fernandez on forced errors leading to goals against Man U, very high. Why do you want to keep putting that same player deep? For Christ's sake, he's not the most physical guy. Don't make his work so difficult. Round pegs and round holes, So for me, and I think that's what Carrick has just done. Carrick hasn't done anything exceptional. And again, I don't know the plan they had for Man U for Fernandez. You shouldn't have bought 2 10s. You wanted to use Mbeumo and Cunha. So now I see the balls Carrick is taking. He has to drop one of them.
Exactly.
Two of them can't play when Fernandez is on the pitch, or else you're going to suffer. And so you can see that from what Carrick has done, we can see that there's a balance in the middle. Look at Meno, that wasn't so good. I'm not expecting Meno to give you a sit-off performance every day. But for Christ's sake, he's young. He's going to burn some energy, and you can't demoralize him and play Ugarte that cannot pass for Christ's sake. Ugarte can't, he's good at marking, but he can't drop the ball. And you can see that just having an extra body in the midfield, Man U is not so easy to play against. I'm not saying Fulham cannot beat Man U, but you will hardly see a team just run through the middle. At least you got who you're contending with now. So, and again, like I said, he's taking the serious decisions. He's dropping one of the 2 10s. He's playing Mbeumo ahead of Cunha, and once he needs Cunha, he will sacrifice the striker. That is what I expected Amorim to have done. You can't. The game we won against Newcastle, terrible game, but you used Dogu on your right wing. You won the game. The next game, you took him back to the wing back.
2-3 at the back.
Like
maybe I think they misprofiled that guy. You sure that guy is the wing back?
No. So again, so in a team like Man U, where strength is a problem, a player that has got strength would find his level anyway. So it's just like Gary Bale. It's like a story of a Gary Bale if it continues.
Okay.
Amorim crippled all the wings in Man U. I'm not saying Rashford and all these guys are not bad, are good, but there was no replacement for. We don't have any winger in that team. The people that could play the wings, you took them to 10s and wing back. So your wings are as good as clipped.
Yeah.
So what Carrick has just done is just play the regular 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. Just make sure you have extra body in the middle. Let's battle it out. You've got quality players in Man U. You can't give Mbeumo that kind of chance and he will not bury it. You can't give Cunha those. They're going to bury. So have bodies in the middle and play. And you can now see that they have belief in what they are doing. They run more. They are sure that you protect your defense line. You can't be exposing. If you put Van Dijk in that old Man U formation, he's going to lose because you can't every time have 3-on-2, 4-on-2. You're as good as come and score me. It's a big field, and like I said, these are athletes. Before you know it, people are running through your defense line, and your keeper looks silly. But with what Carrick has done, and again, shout out to what they did against Arsenal. That would boost their confidence going into the next game. But again, as usual, Man U's problem is consistency. Let's see if they can have a good run in 5 games, 6 games, and we can begin to expect.
Let's see if they can win their next three games.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that guy
yeah.
can get
That's what I said.
haircut.
So for now,
You know that
I'm
guy,
happy,
so that
but
guy can get a haircut.
let's see. Oh, yeah. The guy that said, yeah. So let's see how they can do being consistent. Yeah. My
The
2 cents
Arsenal
on
man.
Man
The
Yeah, I
Arsenal
mean,
man.
it was a bad
Emmanuel, so
individual.
that you're able to touch on these aspects as well. Looking
Yeah.
at their performance against a team from Kazakhstan,
Mm.
Kairat Almaty,
Yeah.
would you say that Arsenal's superior performance and quality is also because of the way Europe perceives English teams and they just approach it that way? Or you feel that that team was very vulnerable defensively? Because Arsenal also considered 2 goals.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question because I think that it shows you the difference between the Premier League and the Champions League, right? Because in that game, Kairat Almaty came out to play. They wanted to play, right? You see the goal that Qarabag scored. What happened? The high line, they played the ball in behind defenders. They got the ball, ran 1 or 2. Kairat is helping put on defender away, and he scored the goal. So it shows you what Arsenal can do if teams actually come out to play football, right?
Yeah.
Which most times, even Man City against Arsenal was playing defensive football against Arsenal. Liverpool, the same thing. At least for the first half of the game, Liverpool was playing defensive. They were all behind the ball. So it shows you that if teams come out to play, Arsenal can score goals, right? Arsenal can really score goals, score against teams that come out to play. So the problem Arsenal had this season always that when teams are good defensive, breaking down those low blocks has always been a problem. Even last season as well. So this is I expect that with Gyökeres coming in, someone like Eze coming in, that would have reduced, but it's still a big problem for us. I mean, and again, I don't say it's because maybe the style of play that Teta has, not necessarily the player, because I think the players are all good players. I mean, we see what Eze was doing when he was at Palace. Odegaard, you know how good this guy can be. Saka, it's just maybe it's the system that Teta plays that's also a problem too. I mean, 2 problems. One, the low blocks, and the style that Teta plays is just too slow. The build-up is too slow. Before you get the ball to Saka, you already rounded him up. I mean, so he can't do anything anymore. Before you get the ball to Martinelli, or even to Gyökeres is making a run, nobody's picking him up, you know. But when Havertz played with him on Tuesday, was he on Wednesday? You saw how Havertz was able to pick up Gyökeres from different places, from the right, from the center, you know, getting those balls to him. And he had like 3 or 4 shots apart from the goal, you know. So going back to the Manchester United game, it was an interesting one because we scored the first goal. Yes, it was an own goal. And then we let Manchester United back into the game by one silly mistake that Zubimendi cost. Right? Because in that game, Arsenal was clearly the better team, right? Man United had a plan. Defend, hit them on the break, right? And that's what they did. And what happened for them? 2 very lovely goals from Togo and what's his name? And Konya. How did Konya get that kind of space to hit that shot from where he did? Is what I don't
If Kuna had
understand.
not taken that shot,
No,
that
if you watch the replay,
Yeah.
you see that who was that? Shesko actually made a really good move there.
Yeah.
When they had the ball, Shesko ran.
Yeah.
So because he ran, Gabriel had to follow
him.
To create that space. So that
that
was what created
space, exactly.
Yeah, but then you had I know the ball came off one of Arsenal players, and what's his name, Merino, right? So where was Odegaard was there? No, Eze was there. Where was Eze? Where was Declan Rice? You know, so you ask yourself these questions. What were they doing? I know sometimes in a 90-minute span you can lose your head once in a while, right? You can lose the concentration. Maybe it was just that lapse in concentration that just caused that goal because he had too much space to operate. And Shesko, I saw what he did, man. That run was beautiful. You know, they say on the ball work and off the ball work. That particular goal was spectacular because he just pulled out and pulled away what's his name, Gabriel, and just made space for Cunha. And Cunha, knowing how good he is, he can't give him that kind of space. He just can't. Like, you don't let it happen because it's short, and that's the thing. You know, there are 3 shots on goal and they were all goals. 3 shots on all goals. That's how lucky the game was. If you look at the game on the balance of play and everything, you know, Arsenal had more position and everything, but on a very good day, he had 2 shots on goal, they were on target, and they were all goals. So it shows you how I would say lucky and how good, how clinical Manchester United was. Dogu's goal too. Interplay between him and Bruno. I know they beat Declan Rice on that one. He couldn't, none he could have done, right? It was just a good pass from Bruno that passed Declan Rice to score the goal, right? And then Arsenal, again, it shows you we need to fix up our attack. I think attacking wise, we're not great. That defense was spot, but attacking wise as well. I mean, you can't play a game against Man United with how poor, you know, some of them they've been recently, and then you don't score more than 2 or 3 goals, especially given how they scored the 2 goals. One was an own goal. Second one was was Sherlock, you know, set piece, he came off somebody, Merino was there to tap it in and it was a goal, and then you can say 3 goals. So it was just a bad day for us. I hope that he's able to fix it in the next game we have against Leeds tomorrow. And the Champions League game during the week, it was just an interesting one. How we conceded 2 goals. We have players who were just coming in from injury. What was his name? Ikapi just came back. Calafiori came back and caused a penalty. So the goals that they scored us are not goals you look at and find. Yeah, maybe the second one is probably one you can say a defensive error, but the first one, penalty, could happen to anybody, right? I mean, the guy was running off and he just instinctively pulled the shirt. And in the Premier League, that doesn't get given as a penalty in the Premier League, right? But in Champions League, it's a different ballgame altogether. So, Arsenal, I think the problem we have is scoring goals. Chances we missed against Kairat was just shocking. Like, I saw chances, even Kairat missing, like, tap into the nets. Just tap into the net, and the net was open. The keeper was already lost. Just tapping, and he wasn't balanced, but we had a lot of chances. So that's something that needs to work on. We create chances in games, but we just don't kill off the games. Don't kill them off. And it's good to see someone like Havertz back after almost a year. You know, so he's back in the game. And you could see his impact on the game as well. He had a very big impact. Scored a goal, gave an assist, had a hand in the top goal as well. So it was good to see. And I mean, they need to fix up their attack basically. So let's see what they do against Leeds tomorrow.
I think this is even a good time to have Kairat coming back. As they go into the next phase, they'll probably need all hands on deck to be able to continue this performance. I'm happy for them. They are 8 of it, 100% in the group stage. That's a very, very good one for them. And some people in some different camps are saying there should have been at least an award for the best performance for group stage. Just give us something, 100%. They didn't lose a single match. That's very good. So moving on to the next one, Man City had a very easy win against Wolves. And I was a bit concerned about their top striker not scoring, and he went into the Champions League against Galatasaray. For me, I thought it was going to be, because they had already, struggled against Bodo Glimt. I thought that, they really needed this win to be able to even get out of and avoid the playoffs, and they were able to just get it done. I was just looking at the coach's performance when what's the name of their top striker again, number 9? I've forgotten his name.
Haaland.
When Haaland missed the first chance, when the coach was like, "Wow, what is this?" He was almost falling on the floor, and he finally came and redeemed himself, and they were able to get away with that win. I will allow Crespo drop on this one, but before then, I will just say some of the key factors I put together is I like their structural superiority. They were able to impose themselves, and that gave them the big impact. Looking at the match against Wolves is still the way they are going. I don't think they can survive. They don't look like an attacking threat. They can't really do much. So that was why Rodri was able to control the midfield, and City was able to go ahead. So Crespo, jump on it, please.
Yeah. So for City, you expect them to take maximum points against Wolves. Wolves, for me, they are not acting as if they are not acting as if they need points. I would think at this point you should be very, very pragmatic about how you face the big boys. You're not just all out, pushing players out. Low blocks, try the counters, and try to get something out of games. But they don't seem to do that. They seem to still want to play. Probably if they continue doing that, they just get relegated fastest than anybody has been relegated in the history of Premier League. Because right now they keep losing to almost anybody except Man U that they drew to. Except from Man U. But those dark days of Man U are gone.
Exactly.
And again,
we're about to find out. We'll find out.
Yeah, they are gone. Then coming to their game against Gala, I expected a lot more from Gala. But again, this speaks to the quality of the Turkish league against the EPL. To be fair enough, they have players who are they've burnt out most of their best career playing in top leagues, and now they're in Turkish league. No shades to the Turkish league. I feel this opportunity for them to sell themselves and get what better players to play in the league. But I just think the class in gap between the leagues just showed against the City. City too is I'm not sure Gala give them a run for their money. We saw Sime try, but it was obvious. Some of the commentary I saw was like, this guy needs to get out of Gala. When you play teams like that and someone like Osimhen cannot do anything just because the Arsenal is got behind him, is not good enough. And
Yeah,
any
yeah.
ball he tries to get to hold in the defense, before you know it, the ball is being passed around, and you see a lot of times his head was down a lot of times in the game. So
Yeah.
again, gap in class between leagues, and so City wins any day, anytime against any of the Turkish side.
Yeah, that's true. So Joshua, if you are looking at the structure for Manchester City generally, especially in Champions League, when it was getting to like before the 10th minute, what was going through your mind, especially with the way they struggled against Bodo Glimt? What do you think they were going to come up with? I knew it was their back against the wall. They needed to be within that top 8, because if you fall out of the top 8, you can't avoid the playoffs. What was going through your mind generally?
Yeah, and again, that's why everyone played at the same time, because the teams were changing all through the game. Even at some point, when Real Madrid scored the second goal, Man City were out. Because Benfica needed that 2-goal difference to qualify for playoffs. So yeah, up and down, but it was a dicey one, and I knew Manchester City needed to respond, especially for the terrible performance they had against Bodo Glimt, which, like we talked last week, they had to then pay back the fans and all. But with Man City, it's really difficult to tell, because we've seen them this season go on a run where there was a time where they went on that good run, and I think they were 2-3 points behind Arsenal. I don't know if a sudden they went back again, where in these last 2 months, they like drew 4 games and they didn't win in like 5. United beating them also. That run of like 4-5 games not winning. Then Bodo Glimt beat them in the Champions League. So begin to wonder what's really going on. But it's a lot to do with also their defensive structure, and also the absence of Rodri, which has really affected them. The Nico Gonzalez in his place has also been solid, but since Rodri came back, he started, and I think he was part of the team when they lost those couple of games. You can just see that he's not yet back to full fitness. He had an ACL, so he's still struggling to command that midfield and the defense for City. You know how good it was, like how they were always breaking up play. But right now, it feels as though once they lose the ball in the attacking phase, like the defense is wide open. And of course, they've had defensive frailties and all, but starting to gel back together. I think in the game against Wolves, Alan didn't start because he has also been on a terrible run. Haaland did start, I think Cherki and Semenyo got the goal, but he came back.
Yep.
He came back from the Champions League game and was able to score. So it's really neither here nor there with City. They are really good on their day. They are very good, but they are not as invincible. They are not invincible like
they're also not consistent.
They're also not consistent. So he's still trying to rebuild this team from the team that won the treble after De Bruyne. All of them left, Akanji, and like, so he's still trying to rebuild the team, and there's that invisibility is no longer there with them. Like everyone goes to Man City and like anyone can visit Bodo Glimt.
You got the chance.
Bodo Glimt? Unlike when Man City was Man City in the foyer, like you couldn't even get a shot on target against them, let alone a goal, right? So right now we're still trying to build. Let's see how well the building phase will go. I think they would maybe finish second or third. I don't think they have it. They have enough to challenge Arsenal, to overtake Arsenal. That's the only reason why I think that they will not be able to win the league. But I think they will do well enough to finish second and have a good run in the Champions League. Let's see how far they can go in the Champions League, and Pep Guardiola will make a decision at the end of the season.
No, but I don't think they can go far. They will make small noise. They can't go far.
It's like everybody wants Guardiola out of DPL so that we can have a chance.
That's right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see. I think he wants to review the team and maybe win another league or Champions League. I think.
Yeah, let's see.
Like those people, they don't retire. You know if you go rest.
No, but Fergie was there for how many years?
Expires, I don't know when.
I think he's got 2 years left. I think
he's got 2 years left. I think he will finish the 2 years and then leave.
Yeah.
That's interesting, Sha. For someone like him, I feel you should just go and rest. I mean, Emmanuel, do you want to take a jump on it before we go into the blue guys, the Chelsea guys?
Yeah. Man City. I mean, for me, when Joshua said they can't win the league this season, I'm happy to hear that. That was what I've been hearing every single week. He will not. Every day that was an honor behind because, but to be fair to me, like it's achieved a lot with Man City, right? I mean, wait, number of times they've won it, right? And you can't keep up that performance for a long time. It's not easy to maintain that level of performance over like 10 seasons. It's difficult, right? Because you're talking of consistency, players not getting injured. Rodri has not been the same player as he was since he came out from
Yeah.
Yeah.
he hasn't been that player that control the whole midfield, control the whole game with those passes and defending and everything. So it's not easy for them to maintain that level of performance again. And it wasn't good to see them beat Wolves because I think that game was a struggle for them too. It wasn't like Wolves were just there and they attacking. Wolves had like almost 14 shots on goal, but only one on target or so. So Wolves still actually play like they wanted to win the game. They took the game to Man City. So I think taking off Haaland was a good decision because, to be fair, he hasn't been firing up lately. So he needed that pressure off him for a bit. Now he scored against Galatasaray. Maybe he might be to score against Tottenham Hotspur was it a Sunday? They're playing on Sunday, right? So Man City is a good. They can do it. They can hit any good day ball. I think I agree with Joshua. I don't see them making that run that they did some seasons ago where they beat Arsenal from first place, from first place, 2 seasons ago to win it. I don't see this team doing that because they've had some struggles. Right? Even though they bought McGahey, I still think that he has to settle into the team, right? Wolves is not a very strong team to challenge him a lot. So let's see. It might be a different ballgame with Tottenham. Tottenham has some good attackers, right? Even though they've not been doing very well lately, but they still have some good. So let's see what they'll do against Tottenham also. But I don't see Man City going that route of winning over like the next 12 out of 15 games.
Yeah.
It's them doing that. It's not the City team. They don't have it in them.
Yeah.
Correct.
I think I was even struggling to name 5 players that played when Gundogan and Sane were still in that team. So I was able to
it's
struggling to even name 5
now.
It's a different team completely now. Maybe they still had Stones.
Maybe Stones, Rodri.
And Stone has been injured also.
Stones have been. I think. I don't think he's.
They also had this left footer in Portugal. Forgotten his name. That was also still playing the
Cancelo.
Yeah. All those guys.
He's back to back now, right?
Yeah, he's back to back.
Yeah.
There was this guy too, Kai Walker, who has
left. Walker has gone too. A lot of people have left that team. But let's jump into this Joshua's team and see, let's just prepare them a bit, So looking at their performance for the week under review, they were very, very outstanding with Crystal Palace. I think it's just looking at their 2 matches that they've played, 3 things were able to stand out to me. First of all, Estival was outstanding, very creative against Crystal Palace. And for the first time, I was surprised to see, a statement from Rooney, where Rooney was really praising the guy. And it's very unlike when Rooney to be praising somebody that is not a Man U superstar. As if Rooney was so excited, it was like, man, he's rooting for Estival. He wants Estival to succeed. He was saying a lot of things, and I was surprised. I was like, wow, this Estival is really getting, into some good books for people that are outside the Chelsea legend list. And that was very good. Superior midfield control for them. The second part that got my attention was playing against Napoli. This season, Napoli has been very good at home. When I checked, I think they've won 7 and drawn 3 out of 10 matches at home this season. So this was the first time they'll be losing at home. And it just goes back to what Crespo said. The superiority of English teams in the European stratosphere is becoming, it's almost like a bragging right. You understand? But let's just give Joshua the opportunity to jump on it. Then Crespo will go after.
Yeah. It was, again, very important week, the 2 games that we had. Now we just need to keep winning to make sure we make top 4 or Champions League spot, and also the goal was to qualify in the automatic spot for Champions League. And for the league, it was a good game. Like I said, Estival really did well. He's not had a lot of games to showcase his talent. I can't remember the last game he started, but he was able to start and he got the goal. He also gave the assist for João Pedro, and we're able to really see out the game, right? That second goal and third goal was critical to just kind of take the sting out of the game, because Crystal Palace, how one goal is never too secure. We got the second goal and then the third goal with the penalty, and you could see how it was then easy for us to coast to the victory. Although Crystal Palace did get a late consolation goal, but it was really good considering Liverpool lost at Bournemouth to just cement or at least get a headroom in the top 4, top 5 race for Champions League with again Manchester United back. So gonna be a dog race, dog fight till the finish.
Yeah.
To the end of the season on who makes
Champions
the
League
4th and 5th spot for Champions League. So it was really good to see that game. Then also for the Champions League was really important, knowing that we needed to beat Napoli away from home
Away from
to have that automatic qualification spots. And the game started really well. We got the first goal and then we just kind of like lacked intensity and allowed Napoli back in the game with 2 really good goals. But it was a good effort from the team in the second half, especially with Cole Palmer coming back from injury and coming on at the sub, and he just did his magic as usual. It's so sad for how limited we've seen him this season because of the injuries he's been battling with this season. But hopefully that's behind him now and he can play this rest run of games in the league to gain back fitness, also perform well, and also still stand a chance to go to the World Cup, because that is also shaky with how Morgan Rogers and Eze and all of these guys are performing. So, and Foden also. So he needs a good run of games to the end of the season. So also, but it was really good. It was the 2 assists, and Pedro's equalizer for that second goal was
Pedro was on fire.
Yeah, that was pure Brazilian talent. From the pass, the first touch, flick it away from the defender to turn, push it, and just smash it with his left to the top corner.
All those kind of goals that Crespo used to score during the summer.
Exactly.
Yes,
So that's why we need him.
yes.
Because I saw some pictures. I need him fit for the summer. So we could.
I'll work on getting fit for the summer. Don't worry, guys.
So we can go claim our best team in the South again here. But yeah, that was good. And then from then on, you just felt like Chelsea had the edge. They were more aggressive. They had more chances, and luckily we were able to get that third goal, which was also again with Cole Palmer 1-2, really nice touch. I mean, 8 out of 10 times, he just seems to play the right pass. Passes the ball with the right weight of pass, and he just played that pass into Pedro without having to break stride, and he just walked into the defense and slotted that in the bottom. It was a really good win, and we secured our spots in Champions League. But for Napoli, it's a tale of not really Napoli, but Antonio Conte, and I think they're even out of the playoff spots. I think they're out of Champions League totally. And he just Napoli.
No, Napoli are in
just
kickoff.
It just shows that because Antonio Conte has a terrible record in Europe. For some reason, he's just, like I call him, a league merchant, right? If we need to win the league, get Antonio Conte. He would destroy the team after 2-3 years, but he will win the league. And but his European record is really terrible. I'm not sure he's made it past round of 16, the Champions League ever. But hopefully they'll be able to qualify from playoffs. But yeah, all in all, it was a good win, good 2 games. And we just need to keep going, keep getting the wins ahead. And Liam Rosinha seems to, at least he needs these wins to help him settle in. You know how I feel about
his own what they call it, honeymoon is stretching longer.
His honeymoon is over, but the wins have been good for him to help him ease into the game, so he's not under pressure now. And from there we'll see what we can do this weekend, and continue from there.
Yeah, so I think Napoli is out. I think Napoli is out completely. Champions League.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Okay, it's true. They are below 24th on the table.
They finished 30th on the log.
Okay, that's true.
They finished 30th. So like Joshua said, for me, one of the teams I really like in the league, apart from United, is Chelsea. Why do I like them? I feel they're just not very patient with that team. That's a young, solid team. And we know what happened with the coach leaving and all of that. I think Chelsea in 2-3 years, they'll be a very, very tough team to beat. They've got the likes of Caicedo and all these guys. If they can keep them and just get maybe a very solid striker and one extra experienced defender, I think that's a solid side. So back to the game against Crystal Palace. I think it's fair to say that Crystal Palace has been depleted with what is going on with the management. The coach head is not in the right space. It's obvious he's not going to stay. And at this level, once you start downing your tools, you really won't. This is not the Crystal Palace that started the season. Taking out Liverpool,
Exactly.
taking out City, this is a shadow of what we used to know. So, but however, kudos to Chelsea. They are doing their bit. But we can see that Crystal Palace really right now, they're a mess. I heard Mateta is leaving. I even think AC
He's fussing for a
Milan.
move. Like,
Yeah,
guy
I
won't
think
go
AC Milan has gone for him.
Juve
So
is pushing.
No, he's
Juve
not.
wants to.
Juve, so you can see that team is, I'm sure, I don't know what they'll be doing on their training grounds right now, because it's like, you're not sure you train today, the next day, you're on the next bus or your next flight to some other team. So, but again, in the Champions League, like I said, Chelsea, solid side, young side, solid side, Estavio, these are world-class talents, that if you give them an opportunity, they'll take it to the cleaners. João Pedro of late is coming back. He slept for a bit, but he's coming back. Probably
Yeah.
few injuries here and there. He's coming back, and you're seeing the good results, a good return on investment, if I must say. I always clamored for Man U to go for that guy since he was in Watford. When he was playing in Watford, I was like, hey, this is like a Chicharito.
Yeah.
Like an Alvarez that left City. These are guys that they are going to play 9, they'll play 7, they'll play 11, they'll play 8. They can play as a 10. They are useful all around in that front position, and you can see that is giving goods for what they've done. So again, kudos to Chelsea. I think, like I said, they are the Club World Cup champions. Even though they had a good run, but that shows there's something in that team. So if you sleep on them, I'm sure they will punish you.
Definitely.
Then for Napoli, I just think Napoli also, Conte's style of playing sometimes could be very, very difficult. He's lost a number of key players. Sambia Anguissa is not playing. Lukaku hasn't been playing. So, going to a Champions League, you need these big boys, to really grind on those kind of days. But not a good day for them. I think they were leading 2-1 at some point. Then Chelsea came back to take the lead. So again, kudos to Chelsea. Chelsea really stepping up on a very important night.
Yeah. I think that's a good one for an English coach. Emmanuel, before you jump on it, we're going to come back to Crespo on that Benfica part. And some of the things that are notable was Benfica was on the brink of coming out. They just needed that 2-goal cushion. And the keeper on the last play, the keeper went on the last corner kick and he nodded the ball in. I think I also talked about it earlier when I was doing some analysis, that keeper was one of the 6th statistics, because not many keepers have scored at this stage over the years. I think it's number 5 or number 6 ever to score at least at the group stages. You understand? If you see the way Mourinho ran, because that sealed that 24th position for them. If not, they were already out of the playoffs. That 24th position, that was what made that difference. Exactly. And that was very good for them. So, Emmanuel, can you just jump on the last one? Then I'll talk about notable performance there. Crespo will end on Mourinho's performance.
Oh, okay.
Last one. This is Real Madrid versus Benfica, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Real Madrid they're still. I don't need to say they're still having their issues that they have with what's his name, with Xabi Alonso when he was there. The guy has left and they still seem to they're still able to find their footing, right? Even though they won just one game after he left, or 1 or 2 games after he left. It's shocking to see how they lost that game. And I mean, I think I've heard some commentary about saying how they forced the guys to leave and things like that. How they didn't let him to do some things they wanted to do with the team in terms of discipline and things like that. So it's just shocking that they're still struggling to score goals or struggling to win games. I mean, in the Champions League, right? If you play away from home against any team, it's going to be a tough game, right? So if you're able to score 2 goals, then you should be able to keep it at the back, right? Yeah. So for some reason, they were not able to hold that at the back. So concede 4 goals against Benfica, that was a shocking one. And Benfica too, I mean, I don't know what their position is in their league table, but it's not a team they expect to beat Real Madrid. I mean, they expect Real Madrid to be with the people they have in the pitch. Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, Adagula. You have names who can change the game in any day. So it was shocking to see them lose that game, they lost it. Given that game had a lot of weight, had a lot of implications for them. If they had won that game, they would have been in the top 8 of the Champions League, right?
Yeah,
won
they
that
started
game
before that game in the top 8, but they fell out.
Exactly. So they fell out. Yeah, losing it the way they did was quite surprising. And again, Mourinho has done what Mourinho does, right? He comes to a team and he just does his thing and he moves on. All right, that's what he likes to do. Causes problems. As he just likes to take the headline everywhere. I think I saw somewhere where it was just, they saw him, the picture of him somewhere, he was just smiling, just happy, laughing, you know. They said he came to Real Madrid and caused a problem. And he said, well, that's what it's supposed to be. That is football, you know. So it's good to see that. I think these are surprises you expect in football, right? You want to see small teams cause problem for the big teams sometimes, right? Especially when you're not, you don't support those teams. For example, if I see National, I'll be very upset. But to see a small team like Benfica, I'm not so small in terms of, but I mean, compared to Real Madrid, right? They're smaller than Real Madrid. See them do what they did to Madrid. You know, those are things that make football what it is. That make it all fun. You know, you watch a game and you're shocked to see some performances, you know, where these things happen. Even so it's just good to see, and I'm happy for Benfica. I'm happy for them to be where they are. Hopefully, they're able to make it to the next stage of the Champions League, and then let's see how far they can go. And then Mourinho again, it's good to see Mourinho back to a point where he can. Because it's been a while where he was out of that space of Champions League and things like that. But to see him and do what he's doing, even with a team not so big like Benfica, it's good to see. I hope he goes very far in the Champions League.
Yeah, it's interesting that for the playoffs they meet each other again.
Yeah, so in the playoffs they're playing Madrid.
Yeah, they're finally out.
No, they made it. So I was going to
they're out when they meet
going to give the backstory.
Madrid
you mean yeah? So I was going to give you a backstory to what happened in that game. So as at the I think 85th minute, Benfica was leading 3-2.
Yeah,
Mourinho did not know that they had not been informed that they needed an extra goal to stay in the Champions League. So he felt 3-2 was enough because Marseille was also losing at the moment. So they needed a point where they had an extra goal. So what happened was, he made a substitution for 2 players, 2 strikers to come in for 2 defenders. He wanted to just keep the win. Then Rodrigo got a red card. So he brought in the 2 guys. Okay,
even
let's just lock up.
He also got 2 red cards for them.
Yeah, 2 red cards. So when those guys came in as defenders, they told him, "Oh, we need an extra goal to win to remain in Champions League." So he was like, "Whoa, I can't even bring in a striker anymore." So as at that time, they had that free kick. He just said, "Goalkeeper, you know what? Go." No, he was the one who told the keeper to go. The keeper made a sign. It was like, "No, you go. You go. So when he scored the ball, he was like, "Wow, this is classic Mourinho." You know, so like I said when we started. Like I said when we started, this guy has a way of coming out from the death back to life. Because for now, Mourinho can't afford, because of his ego, he can't stay in any big club. No big club can keep him, you know. So he has swallowed the humble pie. He's ready to go anywhere to just be in football. And for him to go back to Benfica and to do this against Real Madrid, you know, even if they lose out in the playoffs, he has just shown that I've still got it. And don't forget the last game, I think they lost. They asked him in the presser, and he said he's surprised coaches who haven't done anything are getting the big jobs. You know, referring to the likes of Kairat, the like of the guys that don't have Amorim probably. The guy in Chelsea, you know. So he's like, people who haven't done anything are getting the big jobs, you know. So again, like I said, classic Mourinho coming in that time, you know, and you know, I don't know, there's something that follows Mourinho around. The special one, I say. So
the special one. Joshua knows a lot about that special one statement. He knows a lot. So I think other notable performances were able to do well, just a little above 1 hour, so that we can close now. Aston Villa defeated Newcastle 2-0. Buendia had a good performance as well. Oli Watkins helped them do that. But I also followed up on their Europa League performance. They defeated Salzburg 3-2. And that English dominance is also what we talk about. They're in the top 4 when it comes to best performance so far in the Europa League as well, so far. Tottenham also defeated Frankfurt 2-0. So it's clear, you know, in the Champions League that
you can see in the Champions League in the top 8. I think you have 5 of them.
5. We have 5.
You have 5
I
of
was
them in the
surprised.
top 8.
Sporting was able to
That's-
find a way there. Sporting.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Sporting from Portugal. I was surprised.
Yeah.
I think they're 6th or something, or 5th.
It shows
They're just somewhere in
this
there.
format is just this new format is just something. This format is very surprising.
I'm telling you.
As it's always a surprise every season, right?
There's I won't say a flip side. It's good, because it's not skewed like the old method, but there's a chance that some teams might not play very tough teams or many tough teams in this league format, because you don't get to play everybody. So there's a chance that you might not. But again, when it was in the group phases, there are some groups you see where one team just runs through 3 teams, and so like I said, it reduces the chances of not meeting solid teams while you go, but there's a chance that you have some teams that don't play so many tough teams, and like Tottenham, I'm not sure they played anybody that was going to give them a run for their money, or many of teams like that. So so that also played a factor in those teams making the
I think the same PSG that drew with Newcastle, they both drew and they both fell out of the top 8. So their draw at the end of the day didn't help anybody. Just like Joshua always says, to what end?
It helped Chelsea, I think.
It helped Chelsea.
It helped Chelsea. So they're both in the playoffs, and I think Newcastle is the only team that's presently still in the playoffs. So thank you very much, guys, for staying till the end. We're able to at least push it a bit. Over 1 hour means that was really productive. Thank you, Crespo, for joining. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. So once again, this is Landona's Maple Sports, and almost everybody here was able to push in, a lot of the narratives that will carry us, going into the next week. Today, I say it's a good day. Take a chance and make a difference. Thank you very much, guys. Peace, and enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Enjoy your
you.
weekend, guys.